dear students. I hope all of you are fit and fine. Okay, we have completed our portions, pre-half yearly portion of grammar and composition, and from today there will be revision classes. Okay, revision video classes, worksheets and live classes. Okay, today we will discuss the topics nouns and friendly letter writing. Okay, and I will also discuss the answers of the revision worksheet that I provided in the previous class. Okay, um, because to be very frank, your performance was not at all satisfactory. I didn't expect such performance from you. The revision worksheet that is meant for revising things, to prepare yourself, to prepare you for in a better way for the upcoming examination. So we expect better things from you. I think you are preparing yourself for the upcoming pre-half yearly examinations. So such performance is not expected from you. That's what I am trying to say. Okay, so at first we will start our discussion. Now we will start our discussion with the chapter nouns. Okay, you have already learned it about nouns. What is a noun? Noun is one of the 8 parts of speech that we read in English grammar. Okay, what are parts of speech? Parts of speech are nothing but the words that we place inside a sentence. Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, parts of speech are nothing but the words that we place inside a sentence and the work that is done by each of those words inside a sentence. Depending on that work, we classify those words into parts of speech. Okay, there are 8 parts of speech. Depending on the work of a word used inside a sentence, and noun is one of those 8 parts of speech. Now, what does a noun do? A noun is a naming word. See the definition. A noun is the name of a person, animal, thing or place, and sometimes the name of an idea or a feeling. So it is nothing but a name. Name of a person, thing, place, animal or of an idea or feeling. Okay, suppose I am saying Arlene is the best student of our class. Arlene is the best student of our class. She lives in Kanpur. She solves everything with her intelligence. She has a dog. She has a pet dog, and so on. Here, Arlene is the name of a person, of a girl. So Arlene is a noun. Again, dog. Dog is also a noun because it indicates to a class of animals. Dog is an animal. So dog is also a noun. Kanpur again is the name of a place. So it is a noun. And intelligence. Yes, intelligence is a criteria. Okay, that is a specialty that we cannot touch, we cannot see, but we can feel it if it is there. Right? We can think about it if it is there. So intelligence also is a noun. These are the nouns. Okay, names of things, place, animals, human beings or feelings or idea. Okay, now we read, you have already learned 4 types of noun in this chapter. What are those? Proper noun, common noun, abstract noun and collective noun. These are the 4 types of noun that you need to memorize, you need to understand. Okay, now what is a proper noun? A proper noun is a noun that names a particular person, place or thing. So a proper noun is the noun that names a particular person, name or thing. As I gave an example, Eileen is the best student of her class. Okay, remember this example, and before explaining proper noun with the example, I want to mention the definition of common noun. Common noun is a noun that gives a common name to persons, places or things of the same kind is called a common noun. So common noun is also a noun. It gives names. But best student of our class. Here Eileen. Eileen is the name of a particular girl. A particular girl's name is Eileen. That is why Eileen is a proper noun. Okay, but student, best student. Student is not a particular student is not a particular someone is not a particular student. Student is a class. There are lots of students. Okay, so student is a common noun, and common nouns generally may have singular and plural both the numbers. Okay. Again, if I say Jimmy is my dog. Jimmy is my pet dog. So Jimmy is the particular name. Jimmy is the name of a particular dog. Okay, that is why Jimmy is a proper noun. But dog, is it a particular dog only? There is a class of animal named dog. So dog is a common noun. And what is the hint to find out the proper noun and common noun, to differentiate them? Always the proper noun begins with a capital letter because it gives a particular name to someone or something. Okay, that is why it begins with capital letter. That is the hint, that is the tip to classify common noun and proper noun, to differentiate proper noun and common noun. Okay, proper noun always begins with capital letter. Alright. Now, abstract nouns. The name abstract noun says it all. What is an abstract thing or idea? Something that cannot be seen, that cannot be touched, that can be felt only, that can be thought about. That is called abstract. So abstract nouns are those. An abstract noun is the name of some state, quality, feeling or idea that we can never see or touch, that we only can feel or think about. Okay, it is the state, it is the feeling, it is the idea, etc. that we can only think about or we can feel. We cannot touch them, we cannot see them. Suppose I am saying you have high temperature. We can feel the temperature, but we cannot see it. Yes, you can say that if I touch the person, I can see the temperature. No, we try to feel the temperature, right? We measure it with the thermometer. So temperature, abstract noun. Again, if I say she is full of kindness, so kindness is the quality that she has, the name of the quality that she has within her. Okay, we cannot see her kindness, we cannot touch her kindness, we can feel the kindness through her works, through her activities, right? So kindness, this is an abstract noun. And in this portion I want to mention something that is mentioned in your book also, that prefix and suffix. Prefix is the group of words that we add in the beginning of a word to make new words, and suffix is a group of words that we add at the end of a word to make new words. So prefix, a group of words added in the beginning, suffix, a group of words added at the end to make new words. So these things can be necessary for you to make new words to form abstract nouns from other words. Okay, I think in your exercise you have gone through this type of questions also. Now collective nouns. A collective noun is the name of a collection of persons or things taken together and spoken of as one whole. When we refer to a lot of things and we want to refer them to be a collection of those things, we use collective nouns. There are a lot of collective nouns mentioned in your book. Suppose a pack of wolves. There are a lot of wolves, and I want to indicate those those wolves under a collection, as a collection. At that time we need a collective noun to indicate all those wolves within a collection. And different common nouns have different collective nouns. We use different collective nouns for each common noun. Okay, like pack of wolves, see, gaggle of geese, shoal of fish, team of oxen. There are lots of collective nouns. If you go through the book, if you go through all the collective nouns of your book, then you will be able to answer any question that will come in the examination. Okay, I can assure you that. Okay, but read all the collective nouns provided in your book minutely. Got it? So this was the chapter noun. Now I want to discuss the friendly letter writing, the format of friendly letter writing. There was a student in the previous class who asked me to provide the format again. Okay, I have provided provided the format of friendly letter writing in the study material of today. I would suggest you to open the study material, open the format and see this video, watch this video. It will be easier for you to understand the things regarding friendly letter writing. Okay, I am taking the particular format as an example that I have provided. Okay, see, at first in a friendly letter writing we generally write friendly letter writing to friends, to relatives, to our close ones. Okay, and what is the format? You have to follow the exact format provided by me. Okay, no, not any other added things or nothing else. Exact format provided by me, you have to follow that. Okay, at first you have to, in the left upper corner, you have to mention the address of the sender. The sender's address will be there in the left upper corner. Alright, and that address should be written within 3 lines. Within 3 lines you have to mention the sender's address in the left upper corner. Alright, at first house number A123. Between the phrase house number and A123 there is no comma, no full stop, nothing. After completing the whole line you have to put a comma. Okay, then Ragamati, comma, Paschim Medinipur dash, hyphen 721102 full stop, the pin code. Okay, the pin code. This will be the sender's address written within 3 lines, and follow where to put comma, where to put hyphen, where to put full stop. You have to follow the exact format. Okay, don't make any mistake. Next, giving a little bit space, you have to write the date. The exact date of writing the letter should be mentioned. The exact date of writing the letter. And how will you write down the date? Right, 29 small th April, 29th April 2021. No comma, no full stop, nothing. Okay, exact date must be provided. Exact date of writing the letter must be provided. Another thing, except the cases of date and time, you cannot use numbers in your letter. Except the cases of date and time, you cannot use numbers in your letter. Okay, you have to write it. Suppose I have 2 pencils. You cannot use 2, the number 2. You have to write down TWO. You can use numbers only in case of like house number, pin code, date and time. Alright, and the format of date, that must be this, provided in the format. Okay, now the salutation. My dear and the name of your friend, then comma. My dear Obhik. Here I have provided the name Obhik, then comma. My dear Obhik. Okay, not dear Obhik, not my dear comma. It will be my dear and then the name of your friend, then comma. The comma is important. See, you know that in Google form you will not be asked to write down the whole letter. Okay, so short type questions, MCQ type questions will come from letter writing. So I may set questions from about the format of the letter. If I give a question like that do we need to put a comma after writing the date? It will be no. See, after the date there is no comma. This type of question may come in the exam. Okay. Next, after the salutation, you must give a comma, then the body of the letter. The body of the letter must contain 3 stanzas. And always remember that each stanza should be connected with the with the each stanza should be connected with each other. Okay, each stanza should be connected with. It's not like that in a stanza you are describing the last line is I will be I have been missing you badly, and in the next stanza, you know, I am thinking about visiting a zoo. Suddenly, that is irrelevant. Maybe that is irrelevant for the topic of the letter, for the question of the letter. Don't write things like that. Okay, you should give a connection. There should be a connection between each stanza. Okay, so the body of the letter that must contain 3 stanzas, and after that, with love, comma, yours affectionately, comma, and sender's name. And you do not need to mention in a friendly letter, you do not need to mention your title. Okay, you do not need to mention your title. And with love, comma, yours affectionately, comma, your affectionately, no, yours affectionately. Okay, then again comma, then your name and full stop. Okay, okay, there are a lot of things that you should remember. As I said, except the house number, pin code, time and date, you can't use numbers. Another thing, all these are mentioned in the format. See, exact date of writing the letter must be mentioned. Okay, exact date of writing the letter. Besides, any type of short form or abbreviation of any phrase or word won't be accepted. Okay, it is wrong to use any kind of short form or abbreviation of any word or phrase in letter writing. Remember this. Now, the letter should be punctuated properly, obviously. There is no doubt about that. And opening sentence can't be a question. You can't begin your letter, the body of the letter, with a question, with an interrogative sentence. No, don't do that. That is a mistake. Okay, your number will be deducted if you do so. So follow the exact format of letter writing, and at the end write down these things only. With love, comma, yours affectionately, comma, and your first name only. Title should not be mentioned in friendly letter writing. Okay, that's it. Now the most important thing that I was talking about, that your performance in the previous revision worksheet, in the first revision worksheet, that is not at all satisfactory. I am going to discuss the answers here in the video, so that the students who for some reason will not be able to attend the live class, they will also get the answers, and they will also be able to understand the answers. Okay, because in grammar you need to understand things. Okay, in grammar you need to understand things. You can't just memorize a particular answer. And I am describing here in details. Even after that, if you have any doubt, you may ask me in the live class. As I always say, I am discussing here because it will be very difficult for us to discuss everything freshly in the live class. That is why I am giving a detailed discussion here. Okay. The first question was, find out the pronouns and classify them. I have provided this in the study material, don't worry. Find out the pronouns and classify them. The sentence was, do not touch this bag, it is mine. Some of you have written this also. In this sentence, do not touch this bag. This, the word this, it is not a pronoun. After the word this, there is another word, bag. Bag is a noun, and I have already said in the video a pronoun that whenever you will find a noun after a word, be sure that that is not a pronoun, that is an adjective, as an adjective qualifies a noun. A pronoun replaces a noun. Okay, whenever you will find a noun after this type of words, you will be sure that this is not a pronoun, this is an adjective. Here this is not a pronoun, it is a demonstrative adjective. I have mentioned that. You don't need to write these things in the exam. Okay, I have mentioned that so that you can understand. Okay, so what are the pronouns here? It is mine, it and mine. So they are personal pronouns. It is myself. Myself is emphasizing pronoun. What did I say about emphasizing pronoun? When there is a pronoun that puts emphasis on the fact that yes, the subject himself has done something. I will do it myself. Means I myself will do it. It is emphasizing, the word myself is emphasizing the fact that yes, I will do it. I myself will do it. That is why it is an emphasizing or emphatic pronoun. Okay. And besides, I told you, and that is also mentioned in your book, that if you ask a question with the word whom, what is the sentence? Okay, whom will I do? Will you get any answer? No. If you would have got any answer, it would have been reflexive pronoun, but it is not, because you are not getting any answer, and here myself is emphasizing, putting emphasis. So it is emphasizing pronoun. Next, number 3. Join the sentences using relative pronoun. The parcel reached me this morning. My brother had sent it. Okay. The parcel that my brother had sent reached me this morning. You may write in this way, or my brother had sent me the parcel that reached me this morning. You may write down this also. Here the word that, here you can use which also. Okay, which can be used in case of inanimate objects, and that can be used for both living and non-living things. I have used that. I just wish to use it, that's why. Nothing else. So here the relative pronoun that, what is it doing? It is relating the noun parcel with the other group of words after it. Right? So it is relating the noun parcel with the other group of words after it. That is why it is a relative pronoun. Join the sentences. Number 4. Join the sentences using relative pronouns. Again, Jena Sinha has been selected to lead the India A team. She is an old student of her school. I think by mistake I wrote down he instead of she in the worksheet. It will be she. Jena is a she. The answer will be Jena Sinha, who has been selected to lead the India A team, is an old student of our school. Again, Jena Sinha, this noun has been related to the other group of words after the word who. We have used the relative pronoun who in order to connect Jena Sinha, this noun, with the group of words has been ... Okay. Number 5. Rewrite the sentence using possessive pronoun. What was the sentence? Those books belong to the kids. So we have to use a pronoun in place of kids. The noun kids. What will be the answer? Those books are theirs. Those books are theirs. So we all know that theirs is a possessive pronoun. So those books are theirs. Point out the pronouns and classify them. Shalini bought this dress for me. It is really pretty. Again in this sentence, the same thing as I mentioned in number 1. Here this dress. Dress is a noun. The word this is qualifying the noun dress. So here again this is a demonstrative adjective, not a pronoun. Here the pronouns will be me and it. Both are personal pronouns. Okay. Now number 7. Point out the pronouns and classify them. Who is the man who is standing there? So you are going to get 2 pronouns here. Both are who. Number 1, that is used in the beginning of the sentence, who is the man. This is helping us to put forward a question. So this first who, it is an interrogative pronoun, and the who that is used in the middle of the sentence, that is connecting the man, the noun the man, with the other words, group of words is standing there, that is relative pronoun, because it is doing the work of relating. Now fill in the blanks with proper collective nouns. That was the question. A tribe or troop of monkeys. We generally use troop. Okay. Okay. Then a troop of dancers. The spellings are different. Troop of monkeys, TROOP. See, I have mentioned, and troop of dancers, TROUPE. So remember that the spellings are different. They indicate different things. Now of fruit trees. Next, a crew of sailors, a colony of ants or frogs. These things you have to memorize. There is nothing to understand. Okay. At first, try to understand what a collective noun is. Then you have to just memorize these things. There are certain things that should be memorized. We cannot help each other in that case. There is nothing to understand. I can discuss what is a collective noun. You can understand what a collective noun is, but you cannot understand these things. Why the group of monkeys is called to be a troop? No, there is no answer. Okay, at least I don't know any such answer. Number 10. Form abstract nouns from the capital letter words and rewrite the sentences. The teacher punished the students. Capital letter word was punished. The teacher gave punishment to the students. Punishment, we cannot touch, we cannot see, we can feel. Okay, punishment, we all know about punishment. This is an abstract noun. Next, he was sad because his family was poor. P-O-O-R. This has been given in capital letters. He was sad because his family was suffering from poverty. Okay, poverty is the abstract noun for the word poor. Next, 11. Classify the nouns. This is very easy. Greatness, obviously abstract noun. We cannot touch greatness. We cannot see greatness. We can just feel. We can just think about it, looking at someone's activities or something like that. Okay, actions. Modhu, that is my name. Proper noun. It is indicating one particular person, the name of a particular person. Vidyasagar, again, a name of a particular personality. Proper noun. Choice, common noun. Choice, common noun. Next, 12. Pick out the countable nouns. The countable nouns will be number 1, stones, and slice of bread, that was mentioned in number 3. See, bread is countable when it is given in slices, but a bread or loaf, that is not countable. Okay, I told you this earlier that when we are referring to slice of bread, that is countable, but not a loaf. Okay. Next, rewrite the sentence using the plural form of the capital letter noun. My sheep is grazing in the field. Capital letter noun is sheep. We all know that SHEEP, sheep, doesn't get changed when it is used in plural form, doesn't get changed when it is used in singular form. So the word sheep will not be changed, but in the question, the sentence in the question, my sheep is, it means it is used in singular form. How will you understand? The word is, the verb is, it is used for singular subject, right? When we are using the word sheep in plural form, the word won't get changed, but the verb will be changed. My sheep are grazing in the field, because in the answer you are referring to more than one sheep. But SHEEP will remain SHEEP. No S, no ES, no other change. Okay, I have discussed all the answers of the revision worksheet number 1, and try to watch the video minutely. Okay, try to understand things. Even after that, obviously you may have doubts, and feel free to ask me in the live class. We will discuss everything, and I have also provided the answers of pronouns, personal pronouns, number, gender, case, the worksheet of that. The worksheet of your book, the answers are provided in the study material. Okay.